lane, he was just able to obliterate people once he picked up 3 items.
Yeah, exactly. And so even though he was getting shoved in a little bit at the time, a little bit, he was just going hard, and there goes the Renekton. But yeah, he got that matchup going for him in the Vladimir matchup, and so the question is, how is it going to work out for him? Does he get that pick for free once again?
But like you said, Raz, there goes the Renekton. OMG, they're like, yep, no, we're not dealing this anymore. That's an interior crocodile alligator. We don't want to see any more on Summoner's Rift. They just ban it out straight away. Maokai, LeBlanc, and Gangplank are still the 3 bans that come out from Young Miracles. Hecarim was a ban from OMG. And let's see what their final ban is going to be here. They take away the Brom, so Talia is still left open.
Yeah, exactly. So Talia's left open, Twisted Fate's left open. I mentioned that quite a bit because once you give Viper the ability to impact other lanes, of course, that's just going to, that's going to help out the rest of his team. You have Klaus, who is a great laner. You have the bottom lane, who is just the same, right? If you are able to help out your lanes and shove out that early lead, I think Young Miracles can pull it through.
And then we see Rek'Sai being locked in for Marilyn again, and a good game, number 3 on the champion. We've also seen Dredger do wonders with the Rek'Sai, so it's not only a pick for himself, but also a takeaway from OMG's jungler. Sion's been playing exclusively Poppy so far, right? A bit of Gangplank here and there, but Poppy seems like his go-to champion at the moment. And another big pick that OMG could potentially pick up 5. I don't know how he does it over and over again. He's saving people with dark passages. He's catching people with his hooks. Yeah. He's a monster on this champion, and we're going to see both those two get locked in.
The Poppy is going to be a focal point because I did mention that no team has been challenging the pick, right?
Yes.
So it hasn't been banned out by any of these teams, Saint and Young Miracles. In the last game, we finally found our first answer. A first game in which Xiang was challenged on that Poppy pick, and it did not work out for him. He was crushed in the lane and going forward. So now they finally take out that ban. They banned out the Renekton, and they're now the ball's in Young Miracles' court. Do they have another pick to answer that Poppy?
It certainly is in Young Miracles' court because Renekton was that big pick that they used to take down Sion on the top side of the map. Gangplank's gone as well, so you can't see that matchup anymore. But still, Young Miracles stick to their guns and stick to what they are strong, even without the Gangplank. Sorry, without the Renekton. They go back to the Rek'Sai. They've gone back again to Ezreal and Alistar. Ming and Ning have been putting up a good show so far when they get these 2 champions.
Yeah, this is their comfort right here. This is what they love. And their bottom lane, sure, if they can't get their strongest lanes, if they can't go Jhin or even Lucian, he's honestly one of the only Lucian players I see lately. I haven't seen many Lucians, especially since he has such low range in the pick comp world, right? So question is now, what do we see in the top lane? He can go anything, especially Trundle.
There's even more comfort picks come out for OMG this time around. Sivir gets locked in for SMLZ, decides not to go towards the Jhin. Instead, we'll pick up the more utility-based AD carry. He's been playing really well on the champion. It's his second most played champion throughout this year. And it's also into a Sivir Thresh lane. We saw how dominant it could be in Game 1. LGD have even shown previously in the LPL how well they can utilize the lane with a good Sivir and a good Thresh. They also pick up Gragas, a champion that we saw Marilyn play in Game number 1, not to great success. We have to see now how Dredger is going to do on the champion, heading on to Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, and you explained it well. Gragas, Sivir, doing well for them. But the fact that we saw the Trundle pickup is going back to what I just said, is that's the answer that people go to. That's the historic answer to this Poppy pick, is you pick up Trundle and you smack him around in lane.
But again, Viper's been left open to take his Vladimir, so let's see how he uses that one in the mid lane, because again, not being addressed by OMG, but on the red side, they've saved their mid lane pick for last. And OMG, they've banned away Talia every single game they've gone into today. They hover over it, just teasing Viper a little bit, saying, we might play this champion. They probably won't. But like you said, Trundle is going to be picked up for the top lane champion for Klaus.
I would really like Talia because it does give that composition a nice round-out identity where they can just look to dive bottom lane, look to do as much as possible and create that pressure.
But not the case. They still get a Lissandra, though, who can do a similar thing, just not from the same range that Talia can bring to the table. And it will be the lock-in for Icon in the mid lane.
Yeah, so it just comes back to what Icon is comfortable with. Both champions do that exact same thing where the dive pressure does exist. Issue is, of course, Talia would have the shove in Vladimir constantly. Might not be as decisive for this Lissandra, so she does have to look to skirmish out a little bit more. But another big point, one of the biggest benefits of a Lissandra is the zoning tool of just having your ulti. If you ulti yourself in a team fight, you give so much more zone and space for SMLZ to work with. And of course, you have Young on that Poppy. So a lot of amazing zoning force coming out of the three-man unit of Icon, Joy, and Young.
I do really like the Trundle, though. That's going to take away so much of the armor and magic resistance from Young and Dreadful, whoever gets to subjugate. Something that Young Miracles have had trouble dealing with, which is the tanky front line of OMG. So let's see if that Trundle is going to be picked they really need as they head onto Summoner's Rift for game number 4. And we are on to Summoner's Rift for game number 4 between Young Miracles and OMG. I had to say that a couple of times there, Raz, but we still got there eventually. But Young Miracles are fighting for their lives to try and stay in this best-of-5 series against OMG, and also fighting for the right to head back into the LPL next year. Head into the LPL, I should say, for Young Miracles, as they are the second-place team coming out from the LSPL. OMG, though, that game was a little bit scary, Raz. They are 2 games up. They're still at match point. But if they drop 2 more here, this historical organization faces chances of heading into the LSPL.
Yeah, it's a test of mental fortitude for Young Miracles and OMG. Both teams that now they have to fight against certain odds. Young Miracles right now, they have to fight against the tide of that 2-game series. Right now, they're constantly at match point. Meanwhile, OMG, right, that last game was quite an unfortunate event. Perhaps it comes down to that simple ban on Renekton and just going back to what they're good at. So we'll have to see, because Trundle is a good matchup, and I think they'll just look to try and split as much as possible.
He certainly might. Cloud's picking up this champion. Kind of feels like something he would play. I mean, he's gone for Nah, he's gone for the Renekton as well. Trundle's another one of the trolley champions, so to speak.
That's true.
Being picked up here, but Ming and Ning try to start on the Krug camp, and it's going to be stopped by SMLZ and 5, who move straight in towards their side of the jungle and stop them from taking any level 1 advantage. Viper's going straight back into the mid lane. Will be up against Icon's Lissandra for this game. Has been up against the Malzahar most of the times he's picked up Vladimir, but it's going to be a different matchup for him. Let's see how he adapts to it.
Yeah, the real shift here comes into the top lane. The matchup here now, question was, how is Trundle, or what was Cloud's going to do to go up against that first rotation Poppy?
That hurts.
Yeah, a little bit.
Ming already taking a ton of damage from 5 and SMLZ. Very smart play from this Sivir and Thresh. We already mentioned how oppressive this lane can be.
Yeah.
Especially if you're able to get the minions pushing nice and early. So 5 can move ahead of those range minions and just start zoning with death sentences and get SMLZ the ability to get the ricochets into the back line and clear the ways rather quickly.
Yeah, he's just walking it off. Hits the potion button. Once he once he can spam out his heals, it's going to be in a lot better position for him and his team. He's going to definitely cancel out that shove that Sivir is outputting.
Top side of the map, though, very similar to the last game, where Clouds is actually the dominant force up against this Poppy. Being able to shove him out nice and early. No flash burnt from Siyoung, which is a good thing. We saw his flash down at this point in the last game.
Yeah, definitely a step up. So we did see this matchup last series. Acorn picked up the Trundle up against the Poppy.
Yes.
It is a positive matchup. Of course, Acorn misplayed the lane and had to burn flash, and so at that point, Siyoung had control from that point forward. So it still can go back and forth, but definitely the strength is in Trundle's court as long as he doesn't make any major errors.
But again, that's really good for Young Miracles, because that's kind of like what we talked about, where they really shine. You know, early laning phase, early good aggression.
Yeah.
Trundle really fits in that playstyle, especially when he's up against a very tanky champion like Poppy.
Yeah, definitely. And so he's going to be able to bridge out what the rest of the composition's trying to do, where he's going to push in constantly, look to make those trades right there, right? And make it hard for Siyoung to do his job. And so that really will pull in the Joy to kind of help him out. Hopefully he does. Hopefully we don't see Clouds dying as he looks to possibly dive.
Yeah, but Ning's going to get locked down here by the Flay. Thunderlords from Thresh dealing a lot of damage. SMLZ gets some good damage down as well as Maryland just tanks up the creep wave.
Yeah, holding that wave, that's a definite dive. Gragas needs to be
looking
there
for a
fast.
dive. There's the pillar. Flash forward. Clouds is on top of the Poppy. Picks up first blood. Maryland now has to run because suddenly Dredre is on the top side of this map. Rek'Sai's tunnel is there. He runs straight in towards the turret. Will not get executed because Dredre gets the return kill. Same story, Raz. It's top laner dying and the jungler going down to the jungler. So big advantage already for Clouds.
Yeah, so the major point here, of course, since this is generally, yeah, it's a trade, but it's a trade that Young Miracles do want to make because, sure, yeah, they got the first blood. First blood goal means that it's a positive trade in and of itself. But with that being said, Maryland won't really take much out of that because even if he loses blue buff, that's fine. He is a Rek'Sai. But now this matchup is even more tilted in the Trundle's favor.
Certainly is. He's gone back to base, picked up a Tiamat for himself, so he's going to be constantly pushing against this Poppy. Even use his teleport to get up to the lane so we can continue controlling Xiang, who burnt his teleport getting back as well. Dredger now making a trip towards the mid lane. Viper's going to have to be careful, forced to use the Sanguine Pool. We'll come out of that and laugh a little bit. So a big cooldown. It was hit in 6.15.
Yeah. A little, now it's a little higher.
22 seconds at level 1, and normally you leave it at level 1 until both your transfusion and Tides of Blood has been maxed.
Yeah, but it's not that impactful unless if Dredger makes like an immediate gank back, because that is 2 seconds higher than what it is before. So unless if he makes that immediate gank, which time has already passed, he does have that pool coming up in 2 seconds, then it doesn't really mean anything.
As again, Maryland makes his way towards the top side of the map. Has been spotted out by a ward, but it doesn't matter because Xiang's locked down by this pillar. Subjugate's going to come out as well. Clouds just tanks up this turret. One more shot, goes back in, and Xiang is still alive and trying to fight, but Maryland now is the one tanks up the turret. Clouds just clobbers him down, and Young Miracles focus out the top lane in game number 4 once again.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a messy dive to start because Maryland did need to start that tank first. Didn't work out that way, but regardless of that, you're in a bad position, Xiang, and he ends up dying for it. So now back to the initial point. This is an amazing advantage for Clouds in this matchup.
And where was this Young Miracles in the first 2 games? It seems like this was OMG's series to take. Suddenly, Young Miracles, a new challenger approaches because OMG just looked completely lost. Viper being very aggressive here, does have Dredger coming around the back, but again, there's the Sanguine Pool that gets used, and he just goes back to the safety of his turret. Pops Ghost for good measure.
Had to pop the Ghost because Gragas did still have ulti. If he was keeping up in that movement speed, then the ulti would have definitely knocked him back in his team. Now that he has the Ghost, he has the potential to be able to outplay it entirely.
Saving Grace at the moment is OMG's bottom lane. That's a good spell shield from SMLZ. Ming thought he could headbutt to a minion and then get the pulverize afterwards, but SMLZ says no. Not going to happen. He's got a 10 CS lead for himself. Xiang on the top side of the map, he's 30 CS down. He's going to go up against a Ravenous Hydra Trundle in a bit as well.
The best thing about what OMG's bottom lane is doing right now is that they're actually keeping them in the lane. And so with, sure, right now, 57 CS for Ning, he's at a disadvantage quite, like maybe 12 CS, 14 CS disadvantage. But the problem is he's still not able to go back to base and get the tier to start stacking.
A big player right now for Young Miracles that you have to watch out for is going to be Clouds. He's got 2 kills. One of them is First Blood. He also has the only turret in the game. So that's an extra 650 gold because he gets all the gold just by being the sole person that takes it down. Yeah. And that first structure gold. He's 30 CS up ahead of his opponent. And he's Trundle, who is, to be honest, just brutal when he gets ahead.
Exactly, especially since he's going the build that he is definitely needed. Going for that Hydra. Now that he's going for the Hydra, he will constantly look to pick this matchup up.
Bottom side of the map, though, Maryland has been locked down. There goes Ming over the wall for a big headbutt, pulverize onto 2 members. Viper threatens with the Subjugate. Top side of the map, though, Clouds goes toe-to-toe against 2 members of OMG. Ooh. Flashes forward, once Xiang can't quite get the trade. Now he's trying to run, sidesteps the body slam. Will get slowed down, tries to use the Frozen Domain, but there's a flash forward. Dredre picks up the kill after a greedy flash attempt from Clouds.
Yeah, so it turns out that, sure, it's greedy, but he picked up the flash on Xiang as well. And for that trouble, Xiang didn't even get a kill for it. So I still think he's in a good position.
Xiang, though, looking like he wants to try and freeze his top lane. If he successfully does so, it means that Clouds is going to be it's going to keep on getting put in those sticky situations.
No, but that's still a good thing.
But they're progressing on towards 5. They flashed on top of him and get the knock up. On the hunt comes in from SMLZ. There's the Dark Passage. Ming stands on top of it, trying to stop him. Good hook. Knocks Ming out of the Dark Passage so he can take it, but suddenly it's Lysandra that's in trouble. Clouds, he's teleported down here. That's a very big trundle if you remember. Pillar separates Dredger from his escape route. Vladimir's here as well. Ning will shift in, throw out the Mystic Shot, picks up a kill. Young Miracles, they're hungry in this 4th game, Raz.
They're really hungry, and it's off the back of Clouds. He is showing up really big right now. And so, as I said, they cannot afford to freeze that top lane for Xiang. If he does try and play it a little bit greedy and take as much CS as possible, then they give up the entire map to Young Miracles.
On top of that, Young Miracles will be pushing in for this Cloud Dragon. It's just a Cloud Dragon, but it has been buffed since 6.15, which does mean it gives you a little bit more movement speed, and it is fairly effective, especially when you have an Alistar picking up mobility boots. That's already an extra bit of movement speed on top of the 115 that it gives at the moment.
Yeah, I think the patch was on 6.14 where it was just, it's fairly good, but at the same time, it does come back to the relative strength of the objectives. So teams still would still forego that Dragon for turret leads, especially since 6.15. That definitely tilts it where first tower gold is more beneficial. Any gold, well, any Dragon, honestly, you'd rather take that tower gold.
It's Maryland now spots out that Dredger is trying to take away this blue buff. It's going to be a smite battle between these two. Alexei already used his. Dredger now getting collapsed upon, running straight back towards Young Miracle's side of the map. Just happy thing so it seems, because Clouds puts down the subjugate. Is going to get the assist goal for that one. Dredger is trying to run away. Good ultimate, just to try and save his top laner, because Dredger knows that he is going to die. Just trying to spend as much time as possible. Meanwhile, bottom lane, SMLZ, he's being jumped on, taking a lot of damage. Ning still chasing forward, doesn't have his Iceborne Gauntlet, so can't quite slow them down. Dredger, he's somehow still alive here, but Vladimir eventually kills him, Raz. You know, we're not missing that one out yet.
Trying to burn as much time as possible.
And
Mid lane's getting shoved in.
And Icon moves down to the bottom lane. He wants to try and attempt to gank here, and they've got to be very respectful. Nobody from the side of Young Miracles is here to back up their bottom lane duo.
At the very least, this will turn into a tower for OMG, unless if they get contested.
And that tower will fall, so they trade turrets. Eventually take down the bottom lane out of turret as well. SMLZ and 5 do it pretty much naturally. But they're still behind in gold, about 3,000 gold, I should say now.
Yeah, the biggest worry about Ezreal is that he scales off of time, and wait a minute. Xiang says hello.
Yeah, Xiang wants to fight. Rift Herald, he hurts. He wants to go for it. Big ultimate comes out from Xiang, but suddenly Viper's coming down as well. He might have bit off a bit more than he can chew, but he's still going for this. It will be Vladimir that picks up the Rift Herald buff. Xiang fought valiantly. Not going to happen.
Still not done yet.
Clouds almost gets jumped on there. Dredger was looking for the perfect body slam, but he can't split the wickets and head for the middle center target of Clouds.
Yeah, but OMG looking for that was really good. They created an opportunity for themselves. They couldn't get anything off of it, but still being able to challenge for every objective is showing great strength from them.
It's good to see. Young Miracles, though, still in a very healthy spot in this game. Night and day performances from games 1 and 2, now games 3 and 4. And it's scary to think, because coming into this match, yep, OMG looked great, Raz. Proved it in game 1 and 2. We thought they were going to be just a dominant force that Young Miracles will roll over to. But proving that there's a chance that this historical organization get relegated is crazy. But Viper, he's actually getting jumped on here by Icon. The Ignite through the pool, be able to take him down. SMLZ jumps straight back on top of Marilyn.
Dead.
That's an aggressive dive. A little bit overzealous. And now Ning and Ming have to be careful, because 5 and SMLZ are just chasing on towards this bottom lane anti-carry support. True Shot Barrage comes out, deters the Sivir. And right as they sing them praises, Raz, everything just collapses across multiple lanes.
The caster curse as it is. You start saying, well, maybe this team's not too bad. The world starts to implode. So I'm just going to back you up there, say that Young Miracles, that they are starting to show a lot more strength, regardless of what just happened 2 seconds ago. That this team is showing that they can play with the big dogs, per se. And so OMG now need to go back to what really gave them strength. Not so much focus on this Poppy pick. Sure, the Poppy pick is great for you, but especially since these matchups aren't working very well for you, Clouds is able to abuse you in this way. I think it comes back to maybe the game's not done yet. Of course, it isn't 100%. Maybe. Perhaps.
Perhaps it's not done yet, Raz. I think we still got some time to go.
A little bit more time. But with that being said, I just think that right now Cloud has showing that he can abuse this.
Whoa, he is too. He's showing his proficiency on Trundle as well.
He has played it quite a bit in the regular season, so being able to show it off now in the promotion tournament, it's very good for him.
2-1-2. I'm a big fan of the Ravenous Hydra Trundle as well. Just keeps you that much more sustained during the lane. You can trade and you lose half your health, pick up a wave and go back to full health, but he is going to get jumped on here. Big ultimate comes out from Sion. Clouds has been locked down, tries to put a pillar down to run around the map. Will heal up from these minions as Ning comes in for a big pulverized combo, and suddenly this is in Young Miracle's favor. Clouds will eventually fall, but they will trade it for SMLZ. Viper still trying to stay alive, uses the Sanguine Pool. Ming has to run as well. 5 flashing in, picks up a big play. Marilyn will get taken down as well. OMG, they turn around the fight that was turned around for Young Miracles.
Yeah, I mean, once you look at what's happening in the bottom lane, they do not have Ning. He wasn't there in the fight, so if they came in to help him, they're committing to a fight that they cannot win.
And teleport being used by Sion to try and get into this bottom lane to stop Ning from taking this turret down. You can see the damage dealt in that team fight. Sion coming out on top there, dealing a lot of damage as this Poppy.
Right now, if you're Young Miracles, you need to bring it back to what won you games. Sure, the lanes worked out well for you, but what really got them going was the fact that they played well as a team, right? So they can't have these moments where, well, generally here, Ning is just farming on the bot lane. He needs to look to roam back towards the rest of the team. He's looking to focus too much on this outer tower that's still available to Young Miracles. Either that or altogether, Trundle needs to stop pushing out when he doesn't have wards.
But OMG off of the back of that single team fight have now put themselves firmly back into this game. It's dead even in gold. Clouds is still a monster. He's still 2-2-3 with a big CS lead, but the rest of the map is catching up to him. Ming is now making his way towards the top side of the map, try and save this turret, and Ning will head up to try and farm up the minions that are crashed on towards it. So we do see the swap of AD carries moving to the top side of the map. Young Miracles, though, still have control over these dragons. Mountain Dragon looks to be taken down by Clouds and Marilyn, but Sion's a thing or two to say about this.
Yeah, he's always there to play defense.
Cloud's been locked down. He only has the Ravenous Hydra for now, so Icon takes him down with ease, and Marilyn says, surprise! As OMG just find him hopping over the wall. Hook comes out. 5 is a monster on this champion. Dre will knock him up as well. Icon trying to lock him down. Marilyn still takes the tunnel and gets to safety, but that was a big surprise for the Rek'Sai heading over the wall.
Yeah, he was able to escape, but with that being said, their main strength that they propped up, Viper.
They're on top of Viper. He has to use the Sanguine Pool very early. Will get knocked back into the wall, coming out from the body slam of Dre. This turret will fall down and threaten the engage from Icon as well with the Claw. Sion is still split pushing on the bottom side of the map.
Just shoving that in. That's fair. It's what are you laughing at? That's a viable strategy. You shove that lane in. You calm yourself, buddy.
That is just the most hilarious thing I've seen all day, Raz.
I mean, I just feel like Poppy's ulti is the greatest ulti in the game. I'm gonna lie.
It's a great ultimate.
It's amazing. Especially if you're getting ganked by 2 people and you're able to somehow fly both of them out of there.
Oh yeah, I can see. If you're getting ganked by 6 minions, it's a fantastic tool as well.
All right. As I said, relax. Calm yourself. That was a good play. Able to bounce that wave right back.
And Clouds was immediately head down to the bottom lane. He'll deal with that one. Does have his teleport. We've already seen. I mean, I gave him praise for the Ravenous Hydra. I like the build on Trundle, but you are still really squishy if that's your first item.
Well, it just comes back to, as I said, they propped up Clouds to be the carry right now, and they're going to look to split push in as much as possible. But they're not playing towards him, or he's not playing. It's just a team. Even if you're looking to split push constantly, this is what you want. 100%. Should have done that much earlier.
Yes.
It's a team play game. If you don't have an objective in the top side, quit sending him to the top side. Send him to the opposite direction so you can honestly play either towards it or play towards clearing vision.
Pretty much the same way that LGD tried to play Marin on these Trundles. Si Young, though, he's been locked down. There are so many knockups coming up for this Poppy. Ning escapes from the ultimate that comes out from Gragas, so he lives to tell the tale, and turrets will be traded, but it's an inner turret in the bottom lane being traded for the outer turret on the top side of the map, and Young Miracles even get a pick for their troubles.
Stop. What makes you think they're going to stop here? They're going for this inhib. Just kidding. It took a while, but they saw
That's what
Lysandra.
makes me think they're going to stop.
Well, I suppose.
Meanwhile, though, Viper has been able to get some good damage onto this mid lane outer. Marilyn rotates from the bottom lane to the middle lane, and they'll assist in taking down that turret as well.
A really good look from Young Miracles, able to turn that around. Something must have happened in comms because they really, really wised up to the fact that you play towards or away from clouds. And they did well in playing towards their main strength.
Yep, seems like their coach gave them a good pep talk after game number 2. As now they set up a death brush. Big Pulverize comes out. SMLZ's almost dead. He will get taken down here by the Hemo Plague. Viper gets the first kill. Dredre in a lot of trouble as well. He has to flash away. Viper using the Ghost. Icon using the Claw to disengage. And it's now Sion that's in a little bit of trouble. They've lost their AD carry, and Young Miracles looking so much better in the last 2 games.
They're just looking better from the early game of this game to this portion of the game, right? They made a lot of mistakes. The great point of the early game for Young Miracles was they gave a massive lead to the Trundle, and then they started relaxing a little bit too much on it. And now they got into a point, and when I said that they started to wise up, I really meant in the game. There has to be one in-game leader that really brought it together, because now they're starting to fire back up. They know that this is their last game, or possibly their last game. They don't want to let it go away from them.
And again, elephant in the room, Raz, is Vladimir. I didn't like it game 1 because there was so many 80 damage threats that just pierced through the Spirit Visage you pick up early. But this time around, you're against a Poppy, a Gragas, and a Lysandra. The only person really going to be chipping through you is that Sivir, and it's not going to matter if you just take her down to start off these fights. It's a big power pick, even in 6.15, and OMG just let it through.
Well, as I said, regardless of the picks, because they got a good trade here as well.
Sion's dead. He's going to get locked down, forced to flash away at least. Subjugate was used as well, so he can't go back and defend this one against 3 members.
5 minutes on that flash. So they're going to be able to time it and look to try and abuse that once again. Right now, Xiang is up against his tower, going to look to shove that out. But once again, there's going to be a point where he won't be able to protect himself anymore. If Young Miracles continue to send a 3-man roam squad.
Oof, they're looking for Dredre. Has to use the ultimate defensively on the hunt by SMLZ just to run away from the gank squad of Young Miracles, who now set their eyes towards clearing out vision towards this Baron Pit and shoving down the mid lane. They have a big wave pushing on the bottom side of the map, and they do have Clouds moving towards the top side of Summoner's Rift, so he can deal with the Poppy that's split pushing.
Yeah, there's a lot of strength coming out of Young Miracles right now, because just off the fact that Sivir does not have ult, and on top of that, Xiang does not have flash, which is fairly important, especially since Clouds was able to get that Spirit Visage going for him. Double Spirit Visage off of Young Miracles right now, so there's a lot of tankiness and just ability to shove out. So as long as they're constantly shoving out, they can have a lot of freedom to just head towards the Baron side, maybe even slight wards being taken away in OMG's red side jungle.
Well, Dragon's coming back up in 25 seconds as well, so they do get good vision around the Baron buff, but Dragon could be the next objective they go towards. OMG, we're looking to try and collapse on towards Clouds. A good pillar stops Fire from getting anywhere closer. And they're still just going back into farming. Big item power spikes for their players. Trundle has his Spirit Visage, so a little bit more tanky, and will split push like a monster with the increased healing he'll get from his passive, as well as the Ravenous Hydra. Sterix Gage well, Cinderhawk being picked up by the Rek'Sai. But look at this, Young Miracles, they set up a Death Rush on the other side of the Rift now. SMLZ getting locked down. It will be the Dark Passage to get him to safety, but isn't it enough? Yes, it is. Hemo Plague takes him down. Trundle's down here as well. OMG lose their AD carry, and they have their eyes set towards taking down the Baron next.
Yeah, 22 minutes into the game, no AD carry out of OMG. They can just walk it down towards this buff, and it looks like... Dre, what are you doing?
Well, there comes that pillar. Marilyn looking for the knock-up. A big ultimate comes out from Sion. They do lock down the Rek'Sai, but you can't just go back in on that one.
God.
So big Pulverize comes in. 5 has to flash away. Pillar's going to separate the team. They bought a little bit of time here, OMG, because SMLZ is going to be back up in 4 seconds, but still, Young Miracle setting up the trap so well in this game.
Yeah, they really are. So now they're going to head back to base, stack right back on those pink wards, and head back out on the map before OMG have time to clear out that Baron bush.
8 to 8 in terms of kills. 4 turrets to 3 at the moment in favor of Young Miracles, and 2 dragons to none. Ocean Dragon has spawned again. Young Miracles do have control over the pit if they want to try and take it.
Gragas still needs to back the base. He has no mana. He cannot sustain any form of fight right now for himself. So He does need to head back. The vision still exists for Young Miracle, so they're now pressuring towards this dragon.
And they've started it up. They want the second Ocean Dragon of the game. Young Miracles taking objective after objective. Much more solid from what we saw from them to start off this best of 5 series.
Really greedy out of Joy because they could have at least looked to trade towards Vision, towards Baron if Young Miracles were able to walk towards that dragon. But unfortunately, once again, really greedy out of Joy. He had to back away. He was just farming camps up to a point. So now Young Miracles, they do get the dragon, but it was for free. OMG back in the same position they were much earlier.
Ming's been a big monster on this Alistar as well, but now he might be a little bit overzealous here. Will get locked down by Icon. Is still on his ultimate, but is able to flash out. Dredger chasing on over. Viper now has to go into the Sanguine Pool. He's very low. Hextech Protobelt gets him out. Dredger still chasing. Marilyn will stop the body slam from connecting on towards his carry. But like you said, Ming's poke has been great in this game. Young Miracles get out alive, and they still look to take down the blue buff for their troubles.
Yeah, that was really iffy for Young Miracles. That could have turned out really awfully for them. But, of course, Ning was in the side, uncontested, able to lay down great amount of poke. So the team of OMG did not want to look to head right back in and re-engage.
44,000 gold to 41,000 gold. Still in favor of Young Miracles here. The LSPL team did well during the LSPL regular season, took second place, moving into the summer promotion and relegation tournament. We're very close as well, Raz, from taking down Newbie Young in that best of 5 series. It looked like this series was going to be one-sided and dominant for OMG. The Young Miracles have really fought back nice and hard. And they're looking to try and take it to game number 5. They're looking to try and do the exact same thing they couldn't do to Newbie Young.
Yeah, there's a lot of woulda, shoulda, couldas for Young Miracles because, yeah, sure, they took that second speed spot. What's happening here?
It's going to be Ezreal that gets knocked back into the team by Dredger, but no one's there to capitalize on the damage. Marilyn will flash away. 5-second damage. Ning goes back in. He's got no ultimate. Then there's the Ezreal going to take it down. Rek'Sai has to get out of there, but here comes Siyoung locking him down. So overzealous coming out from Young Miracles there. They set up so many Death Rush, but this time around it's a 3-on-5. You can't just take those fights.
Especially if you don't have ulti on Ming. It just comes back to the point where you have to be patient with your fights when you have the lead. There's no patience coming out of Young Miracles, and it left a window opening for OMG to now look to bait. Silence on the Rift.
They do start up the Baron eventually. There is the first Scrying Orb coming in. OMG know they can take this. There's no teleports on the side of Young Miracles to get into this one. Clouds is already close to the pit. Siyoung not going to be able to connect there as Clouds goes in deep. Viper wants to get in here as well. Hemo play comes in. They're fighting with the Baron buff. Everyone is low. SMLZ has to flash away. It will be Baron taken down by Poppy though. But Young Miracles, they're just going to be taking everybody down here. It is Vladimir that picks up the Baron. Siyoung is stuck in this pit. Ming and Viper just lock him down. And here comes Ning as well. OMG. They tried to bait. They took too long. And it's a 2v5 in the Baron pit. Picked up by Young Miracles. Deja vu to game number 3.
What a steal coming out of Viper. And on top of that, the flash from Clouds to completely negate that ulti from Siyoung was incredible. This team is coming back big and able to get the Baron buff for that. That is a game-losing play from OMG.
Are we in game 4, Raz? Because this is exactly what happened in game 3. OMG fought back. They go for Baron. They started too late.
And he's so tanky that they can't do anything about it. They're trying to burst him down. He is so massive, sustaining forever, able to pop his ulti for such a long time. And look at that, Viper, able to come in, deal out so much damage. No exhaust for him. Thresh's exhaust was on cooldown, so the fact that he was able to put in his full rotation on his spells on 5 people inside that Baron pit while they were all taking negative, or just they were all taking so much damage from the Baron. And on top of that, of course, you got to remember, Baron does shred MR.
And also, when you push people back to the back of the Baron pit, his spikes start coming out and dealing AoE damage. So good move from Young Miracles. OMG, it looked like they had that, Raz, because they baited for the Baron buff. Young Miracle's like, sure, you want to bait? We're fine with this. Wait until you actually started, and then you fight Baron and us. You're trapped in here with us, they said.
That was That was something, and it seems like OMG's trying to get on top of Clouds. He's so fast.
On the hunt, coming out from SMLZ. 5 throws the Dark Passage out. Red
They're
Buff
heading
will
straight for
slump
Inhib.
them down, but SMLZ is getting turned on by Clouds. Has the Subjugate available. Going to be using it to try and keep himself alive. Just
Living for
buying
so
some
long.
time. But like you said, Raz, Inhibitor is what Young Miracles really want. They're taking down another turret as well. Ming and Ning will take this down. Marilyn as well as Viper will take down the middle Inhibitor at the same time. Good trade, in fact, coming out for Young Miracles.
Fantastic trade. You trade the life of Clouds for an inhib on mid-inhib and the inhib tower bot? That's something you don't want to do on OMG. That's not a decision that's made very lightly, very ill-tempered. This is something we talked about OMG. OMG, throughout this entire, or at least the entire set against Saint, and the first 2 games up against Young Miracles, they played very, very intelligently.
Yep.
Very slow play. Didn't go for those rash plays that we're seeing right now.
And it really looked like they put themselves back into this game, Raz. They got a good team fight. They had Baron. But Young Miracles, again, just turn things around time after time. They look like the dominant team from the past 2 games. They're going to pick up a Cloud Dragon as well here. It's OMG they take the one, sorry. But that's just a consolation prize at this point because Young Miracles, they're knocking on their top lane door. They're marching Baron minions into the base. Seyoung and 5 try to set up a trap there to get spotted out by the Prey Seeker. And that's exactly what OMG are at the moment. They just pray for Young Miracles in this 4th match.
Yeah, Baron is run out now, so they don't have to worry about it. But Clouds is going to be split pushing in this bottom lane, and this is what's really important. No one can lane against Clouds up until this point. Cannot do it. Seyoung cannot do it. So we're up in a point where he's going to be split pushing up against a downed inhib tower in the bottom lane.
Yep.
They can do this forever, Young Miracles. Young Miracles need to relax, deep breath. Woosah, just need to just relax a bit. Wait for Trundle to start threatening this inhib tower. He's definitely going to be able to take it. He has Rift Herald.
Unfortunate for you, Raz, there's no Mastery in this game. There's no Meditate available, but they're definitely taking this one a little bit slower, and as we expect them to be a little bit slower here. OMG trying to threaten and engage, but this inhibitor is taking damage. Clouds does get jumped on by Seyoung. Will have the Subjugate available shortly and can use that if he needs to. But Seyoung is still being a nuisance and making sure that the jungle and top lane duo can't get enough damage onto this one. Viper, though,
no.
He's being caught. They're going to be able to take it down, but a big Pulverize comes out from Ming. Viper goes back in and flashes out. Tries to get damage down wherever he can. Did use the Hemo Plague to try and keep himself nice and topped off. This Alistar coming out from Ming is a beast in this game.
Ming saved his team that one. Viper was far too forward. Viper played... I'm not sure why he was doing that.
And it looks like the go button coming out from Young Miracles as well. They try to push towards the bottom lane inhibitor. Despite OMG being 9,000 gold behind, they have been playing good base defense so far, Raz.
Yeah, or Young Miracles just played that poorly. Because right now, as I said, they had the world on just handed to them. You have to play that patiently. You have to. There's no point of not playing it as a team. And sure, Marilyn was playing a little cute, just duoing with Clouds to look to take that the inhib. So that super minions were barreling down the mid lane. If you want to do that, you could do that for forever. But that means that your top side of the map needs to play far more back, far more tempered. Because at that point, your entire focus is on the bot side of the map. All you're trying to do is pull numbers.
For now, though, Baron's coming back up in a minute. Young Miracles stole the last one from OMG after a botched teamfight attempt. They took so long to try and start it. Young Miracles took advantage of that. They've got a 7-2-2 Vladimir running around Summoner's Rift at the moment. Has his on his hourglass. He's been caught out a few times. I think he really needs that item right now.
Yeah.
He's been relying on Ming to save him time and time again.
He's 7-2, so he's trying to play as far forward as possible and see if he can use his advantage. But don't play it out. You're not. Yeah, sure, you're an individual. That's fine. I'm cool with that. But you're a team first. Team player. Be a team player.
Slowly, Clouds is just becoming a tank that no one really wants to deal with because he's got his Guardian Angel picked up here, Raz. That Trundle, it's going to be hard to kill, and they're going to kill him again. Not fun.
Yeah, Randuin's own wins and the Guardian Angel. So at this point, they just got to rinse and repeat. Go back to your positions. This game is yours. Of course, OMG are doing well to capitalize off any mistakes. So one mistake could mean the game, the ball shifting back in OMG's court.
Baron buff is back up and available. Young Miracles keep walking over the same ward that they don't see, so they don't sweep it out, but they are hidden inside of this brush. 5 will place a ward down. Immediately gets cleared thanks to the pink ward that Young Miracles had waiting there. Bottom side of the map, Clouds is still going toe-to-toe against Siyoung. The two tanks will just hit each other. Eventually, Clouds will win, but it takes some time to shred through the armor that Siyoung has picked up.
It'll take a lot of time. A lot of focus should just be on the fact that right now, Clouds can just walk up to the inhib. He should just be able to do that, right? Because he can actually just start trading however he...
Instead, he's going toe-to-toe against Siyoung instead.
If he starts to threaten it, like, he just needs to threaten the inhib right now. Walk to it. So you don't need minions.
There you go.
Get in there.
He's in the base. He's walking on it. The rest of the team are collapsing.
So this is perfect because this is a free Baron. The fact that he was able to bring in multiple people does mean the Baron now is in the court of Young Miracles.
OMG will be collapsing on towards this Trundle. Young Miracles at the same time start the Baron. They do have Dread there, and he's going to look to see if he could potentially stop this one there. But teleport coming from the Poppy as well. Young Miracles got to finish this one out. There goes the Gragas. It's a Smite Wall. Headbutt comes out from Ming. He really deserves MVP this game because he's been a monster on this Alistar, proving it again in the Baron pit. They trade the Guardian Angel and the life of Trundle for the Baron pickup.
See, that's a hefty trade, and OMG knew what was happening, so they were able to just walk over to, like, send your entire 4-man unit to deal with Clouds, and they tried to go for the steal. They were trying to play that game because they knew that right there, Young Miracles had the upper hand. Young Miracles were able to execute, though. Ming, of course, headbutts Joy out. Really solid play.
So Baron buff available for 4 members of the team. Unfortunately, Clouds, the split push of the team doesn't get it.
He doesn't need it. He already has enough force in himself.
Did burn Siyoung's teleport. They do have those 2 open inhibitors. Now the question is, can Young Miracles use the 9,000 gold lead they have now to push in for a victory? Because we are approaching 70,000 gold for their team. If they delay a little bit longer, it means that OMG will be right back in this game with the items they can pick up, and their base has barely been touched. But Elder Dragon is what Young Miracles look to try and take down next. No contest comes out from OMG. Once they take this down, yes, it's only Oceans and Cloud Dragons, but still 3 Elemental Dragon burn buff on Young Miracles and 2 open inhibitors means they can just walk straight up to the base of OMG.
All right, just to set the playing field, though, because it may seem like a massive advantage for Young Miracles, but you're going up against an OMG with, right now, Poppy ulti can negate so much from you, so much gold value coming out of you. And on top of that, you have SMLZ can dish out so much damage. He has so many crit items for himself. So if you do leave, if somehow SMLZ is given the space, is given the time, nice ward, can be the sole carry for himself.
Yeah, the observer was carefully pointing out there that Ming did have a ward placed beside the pit, beside that brush, sorry. So when they placed the ward over it, he knew someone was waiting in there. Got a good ward down to fizzle out the death brush that they were setting up. Ming picks up blue buff as well. They've got to act fast, though. Dragon buff is already halfway done. It's a very short 1 minute 30 second buff, but it's a very effective one for fights. Young Miracle, they're slowly walking into the base. 5 has been caught, taking a lot of damage, forced to flash away. Good start. Now Marilyn's gone in. He's flashed on top of 5 as well, taking a lot of damage. The burn could possibly be enough, but he lives with a sliver of health. They will be able to take the inhibitor through that, though. As there goes Ming with a big pulverize again, straight back in by the pillar. Icon tries to flash forward, uses the ultimate on himself. Has to zone his hourglass to stay alive. The rest of OMG retreating to their nexus. They've taken down the mid laner. OMG have to back away. Both the inhibitors have been taken down. They're now pushing for the Nexus turret. 4 members of OMG have to try and stop this. Ming tanks out the turret. Siyoung is low. SMLZ's jump shot.
Damage.
Marilyn takes him down. Dread can't do anything. Siyoung and 5 just sit and watch as their base gets destroyed. And Raz, we are heading to game number 5 between Young Miracles and OMG.
Man, I made that reference earlier about SKT versus KT, but this seems like the second and the most influential just comeback in the favor of Young Miracles. That reverse sweep is going to feel so sweet for this team. But really devastating to OMG.
I said at the end of game 2, Raz, you have to put on your best Team WE impersonation. You have to keep your dreams. Because with that win, the dream is still alive for Young Miracle. The second place team coming out from the LSPL is still looking to see if they can fight against OMG and come into the LPL, I should say.
Yeah, and that's just so devastating for this team, for this OMG roster, because at this point, look at this. Really came off the back of Ming, right? Because his play through and through, and this was a lost team fight for Young Miracles. They have Ezreal in the bottom lane. So this was already bad. They just came up to save Trundle. So really, they lost focus to what their early lead was, what they were really trying to do, because Trundle was split pushing in the wrong side of the map. Yeah, he has nothing on that side.
If his Alistar doesn't get MVP, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life anymore, because he was fantastic to watch.
Yeah, he really was. And at every team fight, you saw this. Boom, boom. This was
the big fight that came out for OMG, though. Yeah. They fought 3-on-5, got great kills onto all 3 members that were trying to fight here, and then they baited this Baron for so long. And Young Miracle's like, sure, you want to bait Baron? That's fine by us. We will just kill you because now you're going to take forever to kill it.
Just look at this. 5-man damage coming from a Viper. Able to just take that fight. Of course, then Ming is able to come in and give a helping hand. Steals the Baron. So that was the most influential play of that game, and it really worked out for this team.
Sentinel needed. With that, Young Miracles, they've been able to tie up the series. It's now 2-2. We're going to Game 5, Raz, and these two teams are fighting to see who can get into the LPL in Spring Suit 2017. And we'll find out which team takes that first spot in just a bit.